Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 1 hour. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to attend the funeral of former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Begum Khalida Zia in Dhaka to convey India's condolences. United States announces fresh sanctions related to Iran and Venezuela over drone and missile trade. Thailand releases 18 Cambodian soldiers captured in July after a fresh truce held for more than 3 days following weeks of deadly border clashes. And world set to ring in New Year, people excited to welcome the year 2026 with enthusiasm, celebrations and fireworks. Good afternoon to all the viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. To begin with the latest. The Trump administration on Tuesday announced sanctions against Iran and Venezuela, targeting companies that have been involved in the production and sale of drones. The U.S. Treasury Department took aim at 10 individuals and entities based in Venezuela and Iran over issues including purchases of Iranian-designed drones. The administration is also sanctioning 3 Iran-based individuals in connection with efforts to acquire chemicals for ballistic missiles, as well as 2 companies and 3 people in Iran with connections to Iran's UAV and aerospace program. Among those impacted are Venezuelan company Empresa Aeronautica SA and its chair Jose Jesus Urdaneta Gonzalez, which it said have acquired Iranian-designed UAVs. The new sanctions come as President Trump has ramped up pressure on Venezuela by imposing sanctions on embattled President Nicolas Maduro and ordering military strikes on a facility he said was used as a dock for alleged drug boats. U.S. officials said the sanctions are intended to disrupt Iran-Venezuela cooperation that supports Tehran's military-industrial complex. Trump on Monday also warned to strike Iran if leaders pursue a nuclear weapon. And now to give you a rounded perspective on this, I am joined by Mr. Sushil Kumar Singhal, who's been the former senior diplomat. Good afternoon, Mr. Singhal, on the afternoon broadcast. Now, sanctions on 10 individuals and companies supporting the Iranian drone trade. What are the possible reasons for this and how can Iran react to it possibly?
Well, what the President Trump's administration has claimed that, these individuals and entities which are based in, as you mentioned, in Venezuela and Iran. What they were doing was that they were providing the technology and the knockdown drones to Venezuela, which were produced in Iran. And also they say that, the chemicals which were to be used for the ballistic missiles were being procured by these people, some of these people. And the objective of the Trump administration is that they say that, these kind of supplies were making, they were targeting at U.S. and U.S. interest in USA as well as in the Middle East. And it may be recalled that, this just a day before when the Prime Minister Netanyahu visited USA and had a meeting with President Trump in Florida. There, President Trump announced that any attempt by Iran to, to restart or refurbish its ballistic missiles and other armament, including nuclear capacity, will be, frowned upon. And he went to the extent of saying that, it may allow attack on the facilities, and he vowed to keep Iran in check. So I think it's a continuation of what he said. And as far as the Venezuela is concerned, we know that currently there is a naval blockade going on already,
Right.
and he also mentioned that there was a land-based attack by CIA on narcotic docking facility there, and
Right. That's a very important issue because this has considerably been the first land attack, this land strike that Donald Trump has also confirmed. It was done and carried forward by the CIA, and later on it was further confirmed. Now, this further, confirms and brings together a very important topic. And as you were mentioning about the first land strike and the possible impact it may have, now the next question to you is that this move also sends a very stern message to two of the countries, not only Venezuela but Iran as well, with a single shot of announcement, and increases pressure on Maduro as well. What outcome are we expecting, and also will Maduro need more such steps, or is this enough to have a diplomatic dialogue with the US on this, and especially on the drug trafficking?
Well, so far President Maduro is claiming that he's not involved and there's no is not concerned with that, and he is even going to the extent of saying these attacks on the boats are unfounded, and there is no evidence that these were carrying drugs, and he claims himself to be against the drug trafficking. And we understand, there's a newspaper report say that there's some off the record conversation is ongoing between the two sides. So President Maduro, of course, is acting firm at this moment, and having different kind of cooperation, looking for support from different countries. But of course, he's in a weak position because he has no capacity to fight with the US full might. But having said that, Venezuela is an independent country and it has its own strength. Of course, it has the largest reserve of oil in the world. As far as the Iran is concerned, Iranian president has given a statement saying that, if there is an attack on their capabilities and facilities, then the Iran will give a due response. Of course, they all, this kind of conversation always goes on. But the fact remains, if there is an escalation, I think there will be a problem in the Middle East. But at this moment, I think the President Trump is trying to use the financial muscle, and because it will ensure that the Venezuelans as well as the Iranians are kept out of the American financial system, and of course American citizens cannot deal with that. It will be illegal for them. So at the moment, I think he's applying financial pressure more, economic pressure more on these two countries. But he's keeping all the options open. So, what happens in 2026 is very difficult to predict at this moment. It will all depend whether, temperatures cool down and these two sides get into conversation. I hope that they will, and because President Maduro also looking for a way out, because his economy is crippled. They are not able to sell their oil, so they will be looking for an opportunity to sell and get into the integrated with the world economy.
Right. Now, sanctions and strikes both are also causing a currency depreciation in Venezuela. How much of an impact will it have on Venezuela's economy?
Well, at the moment, Venezuelan economy is in very, very difficult situation. As you know, the inflation is very high. There's a devaluation of the currency, despite sitting on such a vast source of oil, because they are not able to sell them because of the sanctions which are imposed. There, recently 2 tankers were seized by the US Navy, which were trying to take oil out of the Venezuela, and they said it was going to Iran. So Iran and Venezuela are trying to cooperate with each other, but these sanctions are really biting to Venezuela, and they're having a very, very difficult time at this moment.
Now, let's also talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not only dealing with the drug trafficking movement there in Venezuela, but at the same time, he's also sanctioning Iran. And at the same time, he's also helping to mend the relationship between Russia and Ukraine. And apart from that, we know the fact that Donald Trump has had his word on different topics whenever it comes to global diplomacy. How do you see Donald Trump's role here, single-handedly dealing with all these very important global tasks?
Well, President Trump is since he has come into the office in January last year, He claims that, he wants to bring peace and he want to put American boots anywhere. And wherever there's a war going on, he wants to stop. And he's claiming that he has so far stopped about 8 wars. But the fact remains that the most important war, which was the Ukraine-Russia war, which is when he took the office, he said within 24 hours he's going to stop, is nowhere coming to closer, despite his best effort. He has invested so much of energy and effort into bringing an end to this war, but he's not able to, because the difference between the two sides are too vast at this moment, as we know. And when it comes to Gaza, Israel, he's trying his best, but he's still not able to commit to the closure. When it comes to the Israel and Iran or nuclear program of the Iran, though in June we know that he attacked in conjunction with Israel on 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. But as the independent reports say that, the capacity of Iran has been delayed, but they are not able to finish it. That was the objective of him. And there was a ceasefire with the help of Qatar. So he's trying in his way, in his manner, to stop or intervene wherever there are problems. But because of maybe the short attention span or his manner of, trying to bring an end to the, dispute without going into the detail with the reasons and addressing those reasons, I think he's not so far been very successful in his efforts, but he's spending a lot of time and energy on that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sushil Kumar Singhal, former senior diplomat, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on the ongoing developments between US, Venezuela and Iran. Moving on. Colombian President Gustavo Petro on Tuesday said United States bombed a suspected drug factory in Venezuela's port city. In the social media post, the Colombian president suggested the facility was operated by the ELN guerrilla group, which partially controls the cocaine-producing Catatumbo region on the border of Venezuela. Petro's comments came a day after Trump confirmed the United States struck a docking area for alleged drug boats in Venezuela. Earlier, Trump on Monday said the U.S. strikes happened in the dock area where the load of the boats with drugs happens. Venezuela's government has not made any official comment on the land strike as of now. The Trump administration has been ramping up pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, accusing him of running a drug cartel and imposing an oil tanker blockade. Washington has also carried out over 30 strikes on boats alleged to be carrying drugs in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing over 100 people. Iranian students staged street protests in Tehran on Tuesday, a day after the capital's shopkeepers demonstrated against economic hardship. According to a news agency associated with Iran's labor movement, protests erupted at 10 different universities across the country, including 7 in Tehran itself. The protests also broke out at the Technology University in the central city of Isfahan and institutions in the cities of Yazd and Zanjan. On Tuesday, security forces and riot police were deployed at major intersections in Tehran and around some of the universities, while some of the shops closed the previous day in the capital center had reopened. President Masoud Pezeshkian met on Tuesday with labor leaders and made proposals to tackle the economic crisis. Earlier on Monday, the government announced the replacement of the central bank governor with former Economy and Finance Minister Abdul Nasir Hemati. Time for a short break, but still to come on the other side. China fired rockets into waters of Taiwan, showcasing new assault ships. Guinea coup leader wins election, completing the return to civilian rule in bauxite and iron ore-rich Western African nation.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. After that short break, you're watching Daily India News Hour. The External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, arrived in Dhaka to attend the funeral of former Bangladesh Prime Minister and Bangladesh National Party Chairperson Khalida Zia. A special flight carrying Dr. Jaishankar landed at Hazrat Shahjalal International Airport in Dhaka. He was received by the Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma. Khalida Zia's funeral ceremony is scheduled to be held at Manik Mia Avenue in the capital. Foreign dignitaries, political leaders and representatives from several countries are expected to attend the funeral to pay their last respect to the late former Prime Minister of Bangladesh. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Tariq Rahman, the acting chairman of BNP and the son of former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Begum Khalida Zia. The minister handed over to him a personal letter from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also conveyed deepest condolences on behalf of the government and people of India. Suffering from a raft of health issues, Zia was rushed to hospital in late November, where her condition had gradually deteriorated despite treatment. Tariq Rahman, son of Khalida Zia, who returned only last week after 17 years in exile, said in a statement, and I quote him here, "The country mourns the loss of a guiding presence that shaped its democratic aspirations. My mother endured repeated arrests, denial of medical care, and relentless persecution, but never stopped sheltering her family with courage and compassion. Her resilience was unbreakable," unquote. Begum Khalida Zia was a towering figure in Bangladesh's politics. She led the Bangladesh Nationalist Party for decades and was the principal rival of Sheikh Hasina of the Awami League Party. Her remarkable political journey, from widowhood to the nation's highest office, shaped modern Bangladesh. Our next report brings you more details of her life and legacy. Take a look.
Khalida Zia, Bangladesh's first woman prime minister and three-time leader, has died in Dhaka at the age of 80. Her death marks the end of a political era. For decades, she and her arch-rival Sheikh Hasina dominated the nation's politics. Supporters call her the mother of democracy for restoring parliamentary rule after years of military control. She was largely unfamiliar with the political world until she was seemingly dragged into it following the assassination of her husband, President Ziaur Rahman, a military strongman turned politician, in an abortive army coup in 1981. A year later, she joined the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, founded by her late husband, and became its chairperson within 2 years. After the 1982 military coup by the then army chief, General H.M. Irshad, Zia initiated a movement for restoring democracy. In 1986, she boycotted a rigged presidential election, a move that helped boost her popularity. After the fall of the Irshad regime in December 1990, elections were held in February 1991, which the BNP won. Khalida Zia became Bangladesh's first female prime minister and the second in the Muslim world after Pakistan's Benazir Bhutto. Her political life saw several ups and downs. The BNP briefly returned to power in 1996 and again in 2001. In 2006, Zia stepped down from office, handing over power to a caretaker administration. In September 2007, she was arrested on what her party claimed were baseless charges of corruption. In 2018, she was sentenced to 5 years in jail in a Zia Orphanage Trust case and later received a 7-year sentence in the Zia Charitable Trust case. In 2024, a day after Sheikh Hasina was ousted from power, Zia was granted a presidential pardon and released. The following day, she returned to politics with a massive rally, breathing new life into the BNP despite her ailing health. Her son, Tariq Rahman, who's currently BNP's acting chairman, recently returned home after living in London in self-exile since 2008. Zia was born on 15th August 1946 to Tayyaba and Iskandar Muzumdar in Dinajpur district in undivided India. Her father migrated from Jalpaiguri, where the family ran a tea business, to what was East Pakistan after the partition.
And to get you more on this, I am joined by Naval Sangh Parmar from Bangladesh. Good afternoon, Naval Sangh. Tell us about the latest that you're tracking. We also learned the fact that Dr. S. Jaishankar met with Tariq Rahman and he also handed over a personal letter of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to him.
Dr. Jaishankar today morning at 11:30 a.m. reached Dhaka at the Bangladesh Air Force Air Base. He landed. He came here with Indian Air Force special aircraft. Later, then he moved to Bangladesh Parliament Parisar, and where he met Tariq Rahman, the acting chairperson of BNP, chairman of BNP, and the son of the Begum Khalida Zia, where he handed over the condolence letter from our Prime Minister, and on behalf of Government of India as well as from the people of India. Where he met other party leaders, even foreign minister of Bangladesh, foreign advisor was also present there. He also met him, and he offered prayer, last prayer to Begum Khalida Zia there.
And also tell us what more can we expect on the funeral, the cremation follow-ups?
Actually, funeral last prayer or namaz-e-janaza was scheduled at 2 p.m. local time Bangladesh. It is already started, and the Suprud Khak procedure, means resting her in peace, will be held at around 3:30 p.m. local time, and huge crowd, people, leaders of BNP and the activists and other people from Dhaka as well as other part of Bangladesh have thronged into the venues, and there is a sea of people at the Manik Mia Avenue and the South Plaza of Bangladesh Parliament, where the special prayer is being held. Security arrangement have been made. More than 10,000 police personnel and armed battalion of Bangladesh Army have been deployed. BGB, 27 battalion of BGP deployed. As many foreign dignitaries, including our Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and the Sri Lanka, Nepal and Bhutan Foreign Minister and Pakistan Speaker in National Assembly have came to Dhaka to pay last respect to the Begum Khalida Zia. So from airport to the parliament and from hospital to the Manik Mia Avenue, entire in Dhaka, all this area, there is a tight security arrangement, and on key locations, army also deployed.
All right. Thank you so much, Naval Singh Parmar, for joining us from Dhaka and getting us the latest. Now, let's get you updates on Thailand-Cambodia crisis. Thailand on Wednesday released 18 Cambodian soldiers captured in July. Crowds cheered and waved Cambodian national flags on Wednesday as a convoy carrying 18 Cambodian soldiers released by Thailand that crossed the border. Cambodian Defense Ministry spokesperson Meli Suchieta said the soldiers were handed over at a border checkpoint at 300 GMT on Wednesday after 155 days in Thai custody. Thailand's foreign ministry said the soldiers had been treated in accordance with the international humanitarian law and principles during their time in detention. The Southeast Asian neighbors agreed a truce on Saturday, ending renewed fighting at their border that killed dozens of people and displaced more than 1 million this month. Under the truce, Cambodia and Thailand pledged to cease fire, freeze troop movements and cooperate on demining efforts along their disputed frontier. China fired rockets into waters of Taiwan on Tuesday, showcased new assault ships and dismissed prospects of US and allied intervention to block any future attack by Beijing to take control of the island in its most extensive war games till date. As part of drills rehearsing a blockade, China's Eastern Theatre Command conducted 10 hours of live-fire exercises, launching rockets into waters to the north and south of the democratically governed island. Chinese naval and air force units also simulated strikes on maritime and aerial targets and carried out anti-submarine drills around the island. Named Justice Mission 2025, the drills began 11 days after the US announced a record $11.1 billion arms package to Taiwan, drawing the Chinese Defense Ministry's ire and warnings that the military would take forceful measures in response. Guinea coup leader Mamadi Doumbouya has been elected as the president according to provisional results announced on Tuesday, completing the return to civilian rule in the bauxite and iron ore-rich West African nation. The provisional results announced on Tuesday showed Doumbouya winning 86.72% of the 28th of December voting, which is an absolute majority that allows him to avoid a runoff. The Supreme Court has 8 days to validate the results in the event of any challenge. Doumbouya's victory, that gives him a 7-year mandate, was widely expected. The United Arab Emirates pulling its remaining forces out of Yemen after Saudi Arabia backed a call for UAE forces to leave within 24 hours, deepening a crisis between the two Gulf powers and oil producers. Hours earlier, Saudi-led coalition forces had attacked the southern Yemeni port of Mukalla. The airstrike on what Riyadh said was a UAE-linked weapons shipment was the most significant escalation to date in a widening rift between the two Gulf monarchies. In Washington, the U.S. State Department said Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with the Saudi and UAE foreign ministers about tensions in Yemen and other issues affecting security in the Middle East. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world in brief. Khmer, classical dance known for Cambodia for its graceful hand movements and ornate costumes, is facing growing challenges from changing entertainment tastes, limited funding, and economic pressures. The country's old art and the centuries-old art form survived the brutality of the Rouge era, but now risks fading from public life. Chocolate in UAE is facing rising production costs, reflecting a broader trend of global cocoa price fluctuations. However, demand for UAE's famous camel milk chocolate remains steady as buyers are less sensitive to price when purchasing premium products. In Sydney, people rolled out picnic mats early to secure prime spots along the harbour to watch the New Year fireworks. As celebrations unfold, parties will pause for a minute of silence on 11 p.m. with the Sydney Harbour Bridge lit in white to symbolize peace. The tribute comes after a deadly shooting at a Jewish festival in Bondi Beach, an attack that shocked the nation and marked Australia's worst mass shooting in nearly 3 decades. Time for a short break, but still to come on the other side. After the break, we'll get you latest on changing weather conditions. Dr. L. Murugan officially unveiled the Government of India's 2026 calendar themed Bharat at 2026.
I'm on a quest to explore the history of Goa. A land steeped in diverse and intersecting cultures and traditions.
I think this is one of my favorite pieces of art in the city.
Here, influences from multiple faiths coalesce in beautiful ways. From religious sites to charming villages and vibrant streets. Watch Postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching the India News Hour. Time to quickly recap top headlines of the hour. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to attend the funeral of former Prime Minister of Bangladesh Begum Khalida Zia in Dhaka to convey India's condolences. United States announces fresh sanctions related to Iran and Venezuela over drone and missile trade. Thailand releases 18 Cambodian soldiers captured in July after a fresh truce held for more than 3 days following weeks of deadly border clashes. And now let's get you weather updates. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued a warning of severe cold and snowfall in the higher regions of Uttarakhand. Authorities are urging people to check the latest weather updates before travelling. Due to adverse weather conditions, all schools and Anganwadi centres in Nainital, Haridwar and Udham Singh Nagar districts have been closed. Under the influence of a western disturbance, the IMD earlier stated that heavy rain or snowfall is very likely in the Jammu region between 30th of December and 1st of January, bringing an end to prolonged dry spell. Cold and foggy conditions continue across North India, with dense fog conditions and reduced visibility in different parts of the country, and several regions have been affected due to it. Several cities in UP, including Prayagraj, Lucknow and Mathura, are facing cold waves and are covered in fog, significantly affecting visibility on roads and highways. The thick blanket of fog is causing disruptions for commuters to navigate through the affected areas. Dense fog envelopes Sukna Lake in Chandigarh, with migrating birds swimming in the chilly waters. According to IMD, dense fog conditions are likely to spread during morning and night hours at isolated pockets over Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh. Dense fog has disrupted boat services at Chilika Lake in Odisha on the last day of the year, affecting tourist movement in the area. Poor visibility forced the authorities to suspend operations as a safety measure. On the other hand, flight operations are running as scheduled, with visibility conditions at the airport showing steady improvement. As visibility improves, Delhi Airport Authority said flight operations are continuing normally across all the terminals. Passengers have been advised to check real-time flight information with their respective airlines before heading to the airport. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by Antra Sinha. Good afternoon, Antra. Tell us about the changing weather patterns across the country amidst New Year festivities.
Good afternoon. A very happy New Year's Eve to you all. Well, where I'm standing right now, it is 11 degrees Celsius and it surely feels lesser than that. It feels colder because of the wind, and maybe that is the reason why Delhi Airport has issued an advisory that the visibility has improved now. But the passengers have been advised to keep a track and keep checking the websites of their airlines to keep a track about their schedules and routes. Well, and scattered to moderate rainfall has also been predicted for Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand by the IMD today, and it will continue till the 1st of January. And especially in Haryana, Punjab, Chandigarh and various other parts of North India, foggy conditions are expected to continue. So if you're going out for your New Year festivities, keep your fog lights on and bundle up with as much as you can wear, because it is going to be very cold for the coming days.
All right. Thank you so much, Antra, for joining us and getting us the latest. And now from New Delhi, let's go across to Jammu and Kashmir. For that, I'm joined by Shabir Dar. Good afternoon, Shabir. Tell us how the people of Jammu and Kashmir are gearing up for New Year amidst cold weather conditions.
Yeah, good afternoon. There is a festivity all around in Kashmir, particularly in the tourist spots like Gulmarg and Sonmarg and Pahalgam, where already the UT administration has arranged winter festivals. And remember, last week there was snowfall in the upper reaches in Kashmir, particularly in Gulmarg and Sonmarg, which has become a huge attraction for the tourists. And as you speak, in Gulmarg, there is hardly any hotel where we can find the space for for leaving, because all these hotels are jam-packed at this time. Same is the case in Gulmarg. In Pahalgam also, where they are waiting for the snow, but the festivity is on. So clearly, a chilling temperature here, but that is being warmer as the tourism is picking up, and a lot of people have arrived here to celebrate New Year in the snowy places of Kashmir like Gulmarg and Sonmarg.
Also, considering the conditions and the brief that you just gave, tell us the current advisory that has been issued by the government.
Yeah, the government has issued advisories, particularly to the people who are visiting to the hilly areas, particularly to the tourist spots of Gulmarg. They have been asked to follow the advisories of, keeping a lot of warm clothes with them and avoid driving without, chains in the hilly areas, because the snowy, roads turn slippery, which results in, mishaps. So authorities are making it, sure that the travelers travel in a safer way, and, anti-skid devices are there. So a lot of, police is also being kept, on alert, on duty in these places to ensure that the winter festivities and the New Year Eve celebrations go, smoothly and safely.
All right. Thank you so much, Shabir, for joining us and getting us the latest straight from Srinagar. Moving on. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, officially unveiled Government of India's 2026 calendar themed Bharat at 2026. The annual Government of India calendar for the year 2026 launch took place in the presence of senior government officials. The calendar reflects the government's vision, themes and national priorities for the coming year. Addressing the launch, the minister talked about India's strong institution and long-term vision.
The theme of this year calendar, Bharat at 2026, our Honorable Prime Minister's vision, captures India at a moment of assured confidence. It reflects a nation that is secure in its identity, strong in its institutions, and clear in its long-term vision.
The Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Mr. Sanjay Jaju, also highlighted how the Government of India calendar reflects India's diversity through its monthly themes.
So this year's calendar, Bharat at 2026, Seva, Sushashan or Samriddhi. It reflects India at a moment of great consolidation. As Honorable Prime Minister mentions, we are all sitting in a reform express, and in this reform express, there's not just reforms, but there is inclusion and there are aspirations. And this calendar actually seeks to translate this vision into accessible monthly themes, and all these monthly themes speak to our citizens across regions and also across generations.
The Election Commission of India has issued revised dates for the ongoing special intensive revision in North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. As per the revised schedule, the draft publication of the electoral roll will now be made on the 6th of January 2026. Earlier, the draft electoral roll was to be published on the 31st of December 2025. The period for receiving claims and objections will remain open from 6th of January till the 6th of February. The final publication of UP's electoral roll will be done on the 6th of March. The SIR process concluded in the state on the 26th of December. All enumeration forms have been received and digitized. Now, security has been tightened up across India's capital ahead of New Year celebrations, with Delhi police deploying thousands of personnel to maintain law and order. Ahead of New Year's Eve, Delhi police has put in place strict security measures across the national capital. More than 800 police personnel have been deployed in New Delhi district alone, while over 2,000 traffic police officers will be on duty to manage movement and congestion. Restrictions may be imposed around India Gate, a major public landmark, depending on the situation. Paramilitary forces are also being deployed alongside Delhi police to strengthen security arrangements. Officials said the police are closely monitoring social media platforms, with the social media cell keeping an eye on misleading or false content that could affect public order during New Year celebrations. Year 2025 unfolded as a powerful mosaic of devotion, diplomacy, development and deep human connection. From Operation Sindoor to heartfelt moments with people, to historic acts of civilizational pride like Dhwaj Utsav in Ayodhya, the year reflected India's soul in motion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's journey spans sacred temples, border regions, major infrastructure milestones and people-centric programs as well. Yes, ma'am. And people across the globe gear up to ring in the year 2026 with celebrations and fireworks. As the curtains come down on 2025, here's a reflection on some major events in politics, sports and entertainment, some milestones and achievements that got etched in the memories. Take a look. And for some of the countries, we are just few hours away from 2026. Right now, it's time to take a quick and short break, but still to come. India defeats Sri Lanka, recording a 5-0 series sweep. And as we come towards the end of this year, up next, we will get you a special report on how India's defence sector witnessed a year of transformation. Welcome back. After that short break, you're watching DD India News Hour. Well, 2025 is almost over and the next year around the corner. And in countries around the world, the new year is traditionally welcomed with fireworks, including in Germany, but not everyone is really happy about that. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Good afternoon, Lars. What can you tell us about this?
Thanks for having me. It's true, we've been having discussions over fireworks for a few years now, and the tone is getting rougher. Here's the thing, in Germany, the last night of the year is traditionally the only night where people can have fireworks. Throughout the year, you might see great public firework displays, sometimes at special events, but New Year's Eve is the one time where regular people can fire them off in the streets, in their gardens and parks. And for millions, this is a cherished tradition. Not for me, to be quite honest, I don't care much about it, but millions do. And it's good business as well. Last year, people spent almost 200 million euros on fireworks. And as you might have guessed, fireworks companies make some 90% of their entire business around that one night a year.
Thank you so much, Lars. Now let's get you all the latest action from the world of sports. To begin with chess first, Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi won the bronze medal at FIDE World Blitz Championship 2025 in Doha on Tuesday. He topped the standings in the open Swiss round but was knocked out in the semi-finals. The 22-year-old had won the bronze in Rapid Championship as well, making him the first since Vishwanath Anand to secure 2 medals at the World Championship. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended heartfelt congratulations to Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi for winning bronze at FIDE World Blitz Chess Championship in Doha. Prime Minister Modi took to the social media handle X and posted, I quote him, "India's strides in chess continue. Congratulations to Arjun Erigaisi for winning the bronze at the FIDE World Blitz Chess Championship in Doha, following his bronze medal in FIDE Rapid Chess Championship recently. His skills, patience and passion are exemplary. His successes will continue to inspire our youth. My best wishes to him," unquote. World's #1 chess player, Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, won the World Blitz Championship in Doha on Tuesday. Carlsen clinched his 20th World Chess Championship crown by defeating Uzbekistan's Nodirbek Abdusattorov in the final. Norwegian star lost the first game of the match but responded strongly to win the second game and then sealed the title with a crucial victory with the black pieces in Game 4. And in women's cricket, Indian women's cricket team clinched a 5-0 whitewash over Sri Lanka in women's T20I series, winning the final match in Thiruvananthapuram by 15 runs. Harmanpreet Kaur's fluent 68 and Arundhati Reddy's late hitting powered the hosts 275 for a loss of 7 wickets. Sri Lanka's chase faltered after captain Chamari Attapattu fell eagerly, though Imisha Tulani's 50 and Hasini Pereira's 65 kept them in contention. With the required run rate climbing above 11, India's disciplined bowling attack led by Reddy and Amanjot Kaur restricted the visitors to 160 for a loss of 7 wickets. The sweep, in a way, showcased India's batting depth and bowling consistency, providing ideal momentum ahead of the T20 Cricket World Cup in England next June. DD India correspondent Lipakshi Khorana caught up with the team members to discuss their plans, resolutions and aspirations for 2026. Take a listen.
From breaking news to shared smiles, our newsroom never stops believing. As the year ends, DD India steps forward with gratitude, grit and festive cheer. And let me ask my colleagues that what their New Year resolution is. Diptanshu, what is your New Year resolution and how excited are you about it?
So as a cinephile, I'm very excited for 2026 as many new movies are coming out, whether it's Dune 3 or Christopher Nolan's Odyssey or Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day. So my resolution is that not to miss any of the movies and watch them in the theater.
All right, so watching movies there. And what is yours?
Till now, I didn't have any resolution, but I'm still awaiting and maybe I'll take the new resolution till midnight. So.
All right, so let me ask Antra now.
So my resolution is reading, because I had forgotten about reading a lot after college and all. So I want to read more in 2026 and increase my brain power.
All right, so books are your best friends anyways. Yeah. What about you, Deepika?
So this new year, my resolution is to choose self-love unapologetically and explore new places and also shine and grow a little more and with this new journey.
So self-love is the best policy. And what about you?
So 2025 was a roller coaster ride. So I hope for this year I focus on myself. So I'll be focusing on 3 things: gym, God, and me. And I hope I eat healthy and I do not miss any of my boxing classes.
All right. And what about you?
My resolution for the upcoming year is I want to grab all the opportunities that I have missed this year due to my over-analyzing brain.
All right. So self-love, reading books, movies, our colleagues have all the things in action and plans. And here's wishing everybody a very, very happy new year 2026 from all of us in the DD India newsroom.
India's military is undergoing a fundamental shift from a major global importer to a net security provider, a transformation built on 3 core pillars of integration, innovation and self-reliance. The year showcased the might of the Indian Armed Forces, not just for defense, but for regional stability and technological leadership, a good example of which was Operation Sindoor, that was launched in response to the 22nd of April terror attack at Pahalgam. Now, the operation was a display of calibrated, non-escalatory force and a precise and strategic attack, avoiding conventional escalation while delivering a clear message. Vishal Paristo has got more. Take a look.
India is rapidly embracing tri-service integration, creating a unified, agile fighting machine. This jointness is led by the Chief of Defence Staff, whose primary mandate is to achieve synergy across all domains: land, air and sea. The ongoing formation of integrated theatre commands is consolidating assets from all 3 services under a single commander for any given war zone. This ensures a faster, more effective response. The success of tri-service integration was quite evident during the clinical strikes on the terror camps in Pakistan during Operation Sindoor.
हमारी सेना ने वो करके दिखाया जो कई दशकों तक कभी हुआ नहीं था। सैकड़ों किलोमीटर दुश्मन की धरती पर घुस करके आतंकी इमारतों को खंडहर बना दिया। पाकिस्तान में हुई तबाही इतनी बड़ी है कि रोज नए-नए खुलासे हो रहे हैं।
Operation Sindoor was launched in response to cross-border terror attacks from Pakistan. It was a display of calibrated, non-escalatory force. A precise and strategic attack, avoiding conventional escalation while delivering a clear message. India had a clear technology edge. What stood out was the minimal use of external assets. The operation was a milestone in India's journey towards self-reliance, relying heavily on indigenous high-tech systems like long-range drones, guided munitions, and electronic warfare assets. Reports indicate that this precision-led campaign successfully dismantled terror infrastructure and neutralized key air defense systems, all completed without the loss of a single Indian asset. It was a victory of technological self-reliance in modern air warfare.
Because of our strikes, there have been radars at least 4 places, command and control centers at 2 places, runway, of course, damaged at 2 places. Then 3 of their hangars in 3 different stations have been damaged. And in that hangar as well as on tarmac, we have signs of one C-130 class of aircraft, one AEWC class of aircraft, and at least 4 to 5 fighter aircraft, most likely F-16, because that base happened to be F-16.
Mega exercises like Trishul and the increasing adoption of Tri-Services Education Corps are standardizing doctrine and training, cementing an integrated defense shield. India's Navy is integrating advanced interceptor missiles like the AD-1 and AD-2 onto frontline warships, giving us a layered ballistic missile defense. BMD Shield, covering land, air, and now the sea. This is the definition of multi-domain jointness. During Operation Sindoor, the aggressive posturing by the Indian Navy pushed back Pakistan.
Immediate actions which we took, including the deployment of carrier battle group in the Northern Arabian Sea, forced the Pakistan Navy to remain either in their ports or airports or close to Makran coast, and they never ventured out.
The push for Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, has transformed the defense industrial base into an engine of growth and global supply. Indigenous defense production hit a record over $18 billion in the last fiscal. India grows from just an importer to exporter. Defense exports surged to a record rupees 23,622 crores, approximately $2.76 billion. India now exports defense equipments and weapons to over 100 countries. Export portfolio include Tejas and Akash. India targets 50,000 crores in defense exports by 2029. India's defense might is not just measured by the number of soldiers or planes, but by the integrated spirit of our forces, the precision of our strategy, and the confidence born from domestic innovation. From the mountains to the seas, our forces are unified, future-ready, and a guarantor of peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific.
Year 2025 comes to an end, but the journey is not yet over. As the Prime Minister says, Operation Sindoor continues. And so, enemy beware, because Indian Armed Forces are always ready to meet any eventuality. With cameraman Rajesh Ricky in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
And with this, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar.